Hi everyone, good morning. It's week 3 of our journey together here in biology. I want to just briefly go through the week and talk about the assignments we're going to have. So this week, let's make this big. Oh, you hear the dog in the background, huh? He wants to go back out, of course. So week 3, I open it already here. That we have us here, molecules of life. So we're going to talk about water. First lecture, go through that. I have a few videos on that, and then the videos are slowly loading, so we're not going to worry about getting into them. You're going to watch those, and then we have a series of videos on biology, biological molecules, where we talk about fats, carbs, and all that kind of stuff. And then the bullet point summary gives you sort of the main points that you need to know. That's a good sort of test review as well. And then we also have us the reading content where the textbook is laid behind again. You don't need to read all of that. You can use it to consult, or some of you might like to read it, but it's there for you, and there's also a link for the external side as well. And then we're gonna work on a couple of quizzes. We work through those. Again, these are here to process all the points. Take them as many times as you want, take as long as you want. The highest score counts. It's really about massaging the material into the system, into your brain, and processing it from multiple different angles. And we have the same in the discussions. We have the first discussion is, as last week, a highlight, what did speak to you in the session, in the lecture. Pick something and talk about it a little bit, why you like it, and that way we have a little bit of a dialogue around some of the material. Also, concepts in the real world. We're going to go here and discuss on this one here. This time, I want you to choose one prompt from below and discuss your thoughts with the class. And so we have a few different ones. We have structure dictate function. In everyday life, we have a hydrophobic, hydrophilic, and a sort of thing in everyday life, and then a structural functional protein. And so you just, read through them and then apply one a little bit more detailed and go through that. So this is different than last week. So I'm would also like for you guys to then know, how does it work? How does it, how do you like those activities? Well, like is a difficult word sometimes. Anyway, then we are here. We have the lecture highlights and then the concepts in the real world. And then we're going to go into processing the material a little bit more, and we do some experiments this time. We have also kitchen lab experiment number 1 that I kind of thought about. We'll work on making a gel tower. So we want to learn about the structural proteins a little bit. What do they entail, and what do they give the system? So I have an activity where you go and get some gelatin. Don't get Jello, get on flavor. Get like a couple of packets or one. I know it's a couple bucks. But get some and then make some gelatin, and then we're gonna make a gel tower out of this. And I kind of started making a video of my own doing it, because but it didn't. The video came out all right in the beginning, but then at the end I kind of futzed up, and so it just gives you some ideas of what I'm looking at. And then the second activity. So this is a structural protein question, which gives us firmity and stability and all that. And then the next activity, I want us to see a functional protein in action. So we're cutting up some potato and put some hydrogen peroxide over it and see what happens in that situation. Then look at it and talk about it, and do it at different temperatures in the room to see what happens to it. Does it work? Does it not work? Well, how does it work, etc. So that tells us a little bit about a functional protein. And then on that one, I didn't make a video because it takes me so long to make these videos. So they're going to come slowly to these activities. And then you can download the activities as well here if you want to print them out. Later on, I'm going to have an immersed reader in case you just want to have that be read. But right now, I haven't done that yet. So I'm sorry about that. We're building some of these activities. I'm building fresh as we go along. Trying to make the material as, a real life base as possible. Then we also have us a second activity, and we want to process the chemistry that we're learning in the real world. And a lot of what we're learning is food stuff. It's, biochemistry, carbohydrates, fats, proteins. And when we look at food labels, we can actually see all they are indicated here. It's just, I don't look at food labels that much. I might look at the sodium or maybe the calories. But on this activity, I want us to go in and look at a little bit more detailed and look at the label and figure out, how many servings do I eat, how many per container, and calories, and then go through all these this table and fill out the different nutrients and or chemicals, and also some of them come in grams, but also some labels indicate them also in percentage of daily value, and that's really cool because that shows us, like this. Let's say you eat this thing and it's 12 grams of fat, and this is 18%, which is almost 20%, and that's about a fifth of what you should eat during a day. That's easier to sort of understand the how much discussion as how much, as comparing it to what would be good for us, as it's just a number, because then we have to look up what that number is. And so that's why when there is daily value, put them in as well. There's not always daily value. It just depends on the nutrition label. I want you to use stuff in your food cabinet or your snack cabinet, whatever you eat, whatever you like. It's kind of interesting to find out. You can make a table of your choice. I have one that you can just download. You can, just write it on a piece of paper, take a picture of that. But I also want you to use one fruit and one vegetable that you like to eat. And those nutrition labels you probably have to look up on Google, or ask AI. That's cool too. And then I also have a few questions at the bottom that I like you to answer and think about a little bit. And then we have us, I think we end up having us a group discussion about it coming up the week later, next week. And as with everything, if you have a question, if something's not clear, please reach out to me and prompt me, and I should get back to you right away. If not, just prompt me a few times. And then second last year, I have one activity that I integrated over time, that my spotlight scientist. And so originally was implemented when we did the equity sort of rubric, worked on equity, but we're also, and we wanted to highlight some scientists, discoveries and things that are done by maybe not your mainstream type of scientists, which often is the white male. But and so we have here. I put the lady who created the X-rays here. I put Einstein's wife here, who was very instrumental in his work, and also an old from the Hildegard from Bingen, which was an Aptus in the medieval time. I put her there, but that doesn't have to be, because what I want us really to do is I want us to think of somebody you probably already know that fascinates you, that you like to tell us about, that maybe is inspiring to you or so. And so I want us then to think of some person like that. Have you go to Wikipedia and look up that person and copy the first paragraph. I don't want you to have to type and write too many things. But then I want you to go in this map, and you have to sign in, but find the birthplace of the person, and then you edit the map, and then you pin on it. There's a pin that you can see, looks like that, and then you put a marker in it, and you in the text you paste in that text, And then you also, if you can, add a couple of pictures to it. We did that image activity already, so you could do that like that, and then add it in a discussion forum, and then you reply here and add it in the discussion forum as well, and talk about it briefly. Just, this is the person I like. It was really inspiring to me, and there is my text. And then we read a couple from each other and just have a little bit of a what is it? Maybe a thought expanding time in that arena. It's nice to figure out. It's nice to learn about what different people accomplished and did. It's kind of inspiring, and so that's the idea of this activity here. A little bit, not just biology, but bringing it a little further. And then we finish up with a Padlet, the questions and the tips. Again, that's an extra points activity, but it's important to me because it's helpful to me to understand what if you have questions. Oh, it's not open on my end here. Right now, I have to maybe double check on that. Thank God I looked at it. But it's helpful. Oh, I have to attach it. I'm so sorry, I haven't done that yet. But it's helpful for me to get some ideas, and I can answer some questions if you have unclarity, or other students, you can help each other out. So it's a nice format for that. So a lot of you guys have actually partaken in that. So I like that. I appreciate that. All right, and then that will close out the week.